Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's artwork for YouTube. And I just want to go through more of what I'm doing, so you all know what's happening. Some of you know that I'm actually painting zodiac dragons. So each month I'm painting a dragon based on the star sign. I'm now actually up to Aries. I'm finishing Aries and even halfway through Taurus, so we're quite far ahead. Gemini's already been done. And what I'm doing is I'm painting each star sign as a dragon, and not only that, we're also creating a stat block for D&D so you can play them in that. Now, I did Gemini and Sagittarius. I wasn't thinking of YouTube at the time, so I just kind of painted them, created them. But that stat block is on my Patreon if you did want to go get that there. And I'm starting from Capricorn, and I know it's late. We're now in March, so it's been like 3 months late. But January, I kind of was building up content. February, March, being busy with all sorts of stuff. But every month we're going to be going from Capricorn onwards. So we've got Capricorn, Pisces has already been done, Aquarius has been done, Aries is almost complete, and also started Taurus. And I'm going to talk about them, in this video. So normally, in my old videos, I would ramble on and just talk about the art process, but this time I'm actually going to talk about the story behind the zodiac dragons and how I created them. And, as much as I like making the process videos, I just want people to see how I painted these, how I digitally painted it. Actually, this painting started off as a watercolor. I was painting by the beach. I was inspired by the ocean. I thought I would create that. So it was exciting making that. And then I converted to digital. I went into the iPad on Procreate, then brought it into Photoshop and painted this cool dragon. So it's probably up on screen now. You can probably see I've been talking for a bit here, but you've got my face for a bit, and hopefully my assistant has stretched my face down. You can see the painting up here somewhere. Probably that side. We're going to go that side. Anyway, so yes, Capricorn Dragon. And I firstly want to talk about why is there zodiac dragons in my universe of Luminous Ages. Now, Luminous Ages is a very, very, I suppose, surreal world, and also combines many mythologies, right up from Zoroastrian wizards to ancient Greek, Egyptian magi's and mystics. And what actually happened was, in our universe, Hermes Trismegistus, who is actually the god Thoth as well, people think he existed. He actually maybe possibly existed, but he was like a wizard from ancient Greece or Egypt. He was actually a Greek that was half Egyptian, and he lived in Egypt, and he learned all the school. He learned from the school of Mysteria. In Greek, it was called the school of Mysteria or the school of mystery. So, I'm going to talk a lot about magic here and mystery and all my research and everything that I've developed and I suppose looked into and why I've done it. I was really fascinated by Hermes Trismegistus. There's a lot of talk about him in many kind of occult practices and schools. I'm not going down that route. I'm going more around the mythological route and fantasy route. And he's actually going to be a wizard that I'm going to create as well in my comic book as well. So there'll be a comic book series eventually with him as well. I've already got 3 comics out, 3 novels out from the Luminous Ages series. And you can go and have a look at those graphic novels on my website. So Hermes Trismegistus in our storyline, he was an astronomer. So he was looking at the stars in ancient Egypt and Greece around there. And he noticed all the constellations and then started creating dragons based on them. So he was that's the storyline was he was looking up at the sky, saw this, he knew about the different star signs already, but he's like, I'm going to manifest these into dragons. Magically, he drew and brought them to life. So we have 2 types of wizards in Luminous Ages. We have luminaries, captivaries. We have the 3rd wizard, which is a chosen. But the concept behind the luminous universe, which is quite, I think, unique to our universe, is that a luminary can draw. They have ink pouring out of their fingertips. They can use a brush and pen to help them control it better, but they can draw, pour ink out, and bring a creature to life. A captivary does the opposite. They'll cloak themselves, hide in a corner, and try and capture their enemy on a page so they're not discovered, because that's quite dramatic. They'll get captured in a book or on a surface or any sort of, some of them are earthen captivaries. They capture people into the earth and throw the earth into an urn. and sometimes they draw the picture of the urn and they put that into a book, so you're double captured. So that's the whole storyline. Is Hermes Trismegistus was an astronomer. He was quite a mystical character. He studied at the School of Mysteria, and he became this great and powerful wizard. He is basically a god. He's the wizard god. Well, I don't know if he's a wizard god, but we won't go into that. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys because I haven't gone to this book yet. So maybe he was a god, maybe he wasn't. He's Thoth, he's not. Who knows? But anyway, the point is Hermes Trismegistus, Thoth. He ended up discovering the constellations, but not only that. When he looked at the constellations, he created dragons from that. So he drew in his magical book of mystery, and he created all these dragons to life based on the star sign. But today, without further ado, we're going to get into Capricorn and the story behind it. I have written a script on the side, so if I'm looking over there, it's because I'm reading a script, but I'll try and wing it as well. So just be patient with me. So the Capricorn Dragon is a dragon that is made of the earth element, obviously because of the star sign. Capricorn is an earth sign. Is known to amass in groups and is it is a popular companion animal. So some wizards have them as animals, as friends. They're often easy to tame, but are rare creatures. Excuse me. They also like to travel in families. So if you keep a few as pets, they will be more content. So if you have a couple of Capricorns around you, Capricorn dragons from babies, from birth, and you tame them, they will be more loyal to you because they've got a family member with them, and they're going to support you in battle and fight alongside you. And I'm also going to talk about the stat block. You're all going to get the stat block for free as well today, and I'm excited about that. It's in the link below, and you can have a look. It is a draft stat block. The final fine-tuned stat block is on my Patreon because we are testing it with our D&D groups, but at the same time, we find out if there is an error, we go back and fix up the sheet, and the final sheets are always on Patreon or in our printed books. So yes, the Capricorn, they're known, they travel in families, so if you keep a few as pets, it's great. They're content. They're known to have cunning skills with ability to attack with their horns and also whip with their tail. They've got a water-like tail. It flips up dirt at their enemies, often blinding them with this earthen attack. They often charge at their enemies with their large horns and are known to also love food. So they will scavenge and eat anything like a goat, because Capricorn is a goat kind of creature, so that's where I've gone with that. And they will eat anything. So they will eat your rations. If you're playing D&D and you're traveling along, you don't have much food or there isn't much around, you're in a city, they will eat your rations. But they will also, in the market, you have to watch out. They will sneakily grab an apple while the trader's not looking or while you're not looking. And they can get you into trouble if they're not tamed enough. So they will scavenge and eat anything. They do love fruits and berries and will be easily charmed if you can provide a good source of refreshing fruit and berries. For some reason, they just love sweet food. If you do encounter a Capricorn dragon, which if you don't have the privilege of encountering a baby one and training it up and charming it with the fruit and berries and stuff, most of the time you will encounter them. They are a medium difficulty boss. And the older that the Capricorn dragon gets, it becomes harder, and the larger their horns are, and it becomes more aggressive, and it hits for more. So you will find them across coastlines, in caves, on cliff faces, and their attacks are really focused on charging at enemies, blinding enemies, flapping their tails, and their wings to kind of throw dirt up and blind people. And they also have hoof charge attacks, so you really want to be careful of them. They're gonna, if you encounter a Capricorn dragon, it's gonna be quite aggressive, and most of the time it is trying to flee away from you. It doesn't actually want to be captured, or it doesn't want to be killed. But then if it is cornered and it's stuck somewhere, it will fight back. It will be aggressive, as crazy levels of aggression. So yeah, that's basically it. The Capricorn dragon can often be found in groups of 3. Then they become challenging if you choose to fight them because they work great in a team. So you might encounter one Capricorn dragon. Make sure it's one by itself, because sometimes if there's 2 or 3, you've got 2 to 3 medium level difficulty, I suppose, creatures that you've got to fight, because they do rally to support each other and defend each other, and they're quite offensive. Yeah, this is because of their great sense of family, as I talked about before. And yeah, so you've got to watch out for that. Now, going into it, they have a natural armor class of about 13, hit points of 110, so they are quite big. Speed of 30 feet, they can burrow 30 feet and swim for 30 feet. That's their speed. And they have a strength of 16, dexterity of 12, constitution of 14, intelligence of 15, wisdom of 10, and charisma of 16. They have a proficiency bonus of +2. Their skills are insight +4, perception +2, persuasion +5, and stealth 3. Their damage immunities, they're immune to bludgeoning and cold damage. And the languages they speak, they can actually speak Common, Draconic, Egyptian, Ionian, Greek, and Zodiac, because they are like a humanoid dragon kind of creature, and they do have, because they're dragon, they have the ability to speak and talk and be very dragon-like. Now, they have this ability called family strategy, which we've developed or we've thought we'd integrate. They have a challenge rating of 3, and this family strategy ability allows them to have an advantage on attack rolls against a creature. So if at least one of the Capricorn allies is within 5 feet of the creature, and the ally isn't unconscious, they will have that advantage on attack rolls. So that's one great thing. Multi-attack, the dragon makes 2 attacks with hoofs and astral ram. So it can do a double attack. It's got a hoof attack, and it also has an astral ram attack. That's the charge attack that I talked about. It also has a horn charge attack and a dust cloud attack, which is the tail coming up and whipping up the enemies and blinding them. So there's about 2 to 3 normal actions and 2 bonus actions. So you've got multi-attack, hoof, astral ram, horn charge, and dust cloud. So that's pretty much Capricorn for you. Like I said, these are a very loyal creature, so if you can capture them as babies or smaller, or even if there's one by itself and you can charm it and get it on your side, it will be quite a ferocious ally and will defend you. If you constantly feed it and you keep on charming it, it will just join your side if you're a druid or you've got high charisma or you're good with animal handling. And it can kind of speak as well, so it's quite funny. It actually will talk back to you. I would say with an intelligence of 15, it is quite intelligent, and it can speak languages. And I would say like a Capricorn Dragon would, kind of talk like in maybe like Jar Jar Binks, like me should be thinking you're this and that, So it's quite funny. So it would be like a goat, kind of speaking like a goat, like, man, why do you do this to me? I don't want to be your friend, like that. So hopefully these crazy voices of mine get me some likes and attention. That will be quite funny. So you can all pay me out about it. It's all good. So hopefully I got a few laughs out of you. You should be thinking you like the Capricorn Dragon, okay? So that's kind of like a mix between a goat and Jar Jar Binks. So exciting times. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd make this funny video and give you all this free content. So and if you do like what I'm talking about, you want to hear more about mythology, fantasy stories, what I'm developing, the comics, the art. As you can see, I've got a painting behind here. This is water portals. This is all done with acrylics. I do art. I write stuff full time. Write comics, the D&D stuff, and art. This is all I do. YouTube's a bit of an experiment. I want to come back to YouTube and try it and see how we go for a year. I'm going to be here for a year. So if it grows, I'm staying. If it doesn't grow, I'm just going to go do something else. So artistically, of course. But yeah, I just wanted to see, I do want to do YouTube. I find this exciting. I like this stuff. But obviously I need support, and I need people following and, commenting, liking. Anything positive is great. And you can find me on Patreon as patreon.com Anthony Christou. Also, you can find my website achristuart.com and can read some of my comics for free at luminousages.com. So yeah, hopefully you've seen the whole process of the dragon that's been painted from start to end here. I won't drag on and talk for ages. The whole idea was to make these videos fast, easy, and fun for everyone. And I just want to make them fun to make. I really didn't want to sit there and do hours and hours of me talking and narrating an art video on how to paint this and I then place this little bit of color here and blah 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 and all this. I find that stuff really boring, teaching that. Like, I don't mind teaching the art and teaching the concepts of it and letting people go do what they want to do, but documenting every single process of the art process kind of gets me out of the flow. Whereas I realize I don't mind being recorded or recording my own videos. I just don't like documenting every single part of how I painted this painting, simply because it's boring, gets me out of the creative flow and all that sort of stuff. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope it was informative. I hope you like my horrible goat voice that sounds like a big Jar Jar Binks. I don't know what I'm saying. It's really late here, so I'm just kind of winging it. But yeah, I hope you all like that. And what I'm going to be doing is also interviewing a professional every month. So I've got John Sederi artist coming on in April, early April. So this is going out sometime late March. But you are going to get a beautiful video with me and John talking. He's one of America's legendary fantasy artists. He has his own beautiful style. The book series is called Astro Mythos, and it's kind of like sci-fi meets fantasy. It's epic, and yeah, he's going to talk about his professional life, how he's done art full-time, how he's grown his audience from zero to a full-time art business. He also has a cool D&D project up at the moment. You can find that. It's on Kickstarter, so I'm going to plug it now and later. It's called Lair of the Spider Lord, Astro Mythos. It's a 5-year compatible campaign. I'm a backer of it. You can find it on Kickstarter. I've got that in the links as well if you want to check it out. It's a great project. You can see the picture up here now. So yeah, go check him out. I'm actually going to be interviewing him. Like I said, I've already done the interview, but we're editing it and it's coming out early April. I'm excited about that. This guy supported my art when I was in the US in 2018. He helped me to exhibit and showcase my art at Luxcon, one of the biggest fantasy art shows. And he just is very supportive of what I'm doing and my art, and wants to see my art grow over in the US. So he's a great dude, great person in general, supportive of all artists. So yeah, go and throw some love and show some support to him. Definitely needs it. But anyway, thank you for watching. And yeah, I hope the Capricorn Dragon was exciting and fun to watch me paint, and hope you had a bit of a laugh. And take the stat block, it's for free, and go and have a play and let me know what you think. It's a lot of fun, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Take care. See you next time.